this video I am going to use a tool, a add-on to Chrome to help me actually see things. So if you want to have this installed, then awesome, then just go Chrome, search for Chrome plugins, and then just for Vue and DevTools, and you can install this, and it's going to, I'll show you what it actually does in a second. Now it's installed on my computer right now, and I click the product/1 like I did before, and up here, it's actually right there, where we have elements, console, source, I have Vue. And this is actually an application developed so for Vue creators or developers, we can actually see what happens. So if I click through here, and I know at some point at my content I'm actually sending information. And in the code I'm doing that with our params, right? Here in the product. So in my params I'm sending information through here. Cool. So let's see if that actually is working as intended. So if I click v-content here, and you can see down here this is the data, and there's a prop here. But I would just want to expand the data because that's usually where it is. Yours might look like this. So expand the route as well. And in here we are looking at where we go, parents here. So we have our params down here, and you can see actually it's sending in description, headline, ID1, and so on. So ID1 should have the width somewhere down here. ID1, yeah, that's right, with Sunday Island, cool. So I can actually check in here if something works or doesn't work. If I did something wrong, didn't actually type in, for example, the headliner there into my params, it's just gonna, or do something not correct here, it's just gonna go undefined or something like this. But this ID here is actually helping me to do these things. Sorry, not ID, plugin. Now, what we need to do now is fix our products, because right now it's just, as you can see, displaying whatever, and that's not correct. So if I wanted to, for example, in my headline, I want to print that one out. So I type headline because that's what we want, right? And they click save, and then it just disappears. Again, there's too many here. So it doesn't work with the headline. If I click here, it doesn't do anything. It's even here, params and headline, but it's not doing it correctly. What we need to do is in our data object down here, we need to grab whatever's being sent to the params and then store them so we can actually see them here, right? So the first thing I want to do is after show false, I'm going to do a comma, and then I'm going to type in product without the S, and then I'm going to create an object down here. And I'm going to store all the different things, the values we get in from here. So let's actually go up here. And let's just take this, copy this part here from our params, from the products, and go back here and just paste them in, and let's make everything a little bit more like this. And you can go one back as well. So in here right now I'm just saying this is really what I want to do. I want to store them here, but this won't work because I just emitted a little thing. But for this to actually work, I have to call this keyword. And because we're using route and parameters, I actually do this route.params with this. And this actually grabs the information that we send in, for example, our ID. So we can actually use it by using just the ID tag here. This is just, or I could just put this into each of my interpolation, but that's not really nice. It doesn't look really well. And I have to do this for each of them. But instead of having this.route.params for each, so instead of product down here, like I just copied, I'm just going to store this piece of code, this piece of line in a variable, and then reuse this. So just before our return starts, I'm just going to create a variable outside and call it product. And the reason why I call it product is because that's what I did here. So product, 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 and so on, right? And pasting this in here and removing the dot. And now, instead of me having actually to type this in for each time, so this instead of this, I can just do the process a little bit more clean. Cool. So now I'm storing all the information here, and if you go back to the browser and go click here and click some islands, still nothing. Cool. So we need to change something with our interpolation up here where we have our headline. So like the first one, we need to firstly tell it to go into products because that's where it's stored, and then ID, and then grab the information from here. So let's go up here, product dot headline like this. Let's Click save, let's go back. Oh, it actually went there. And then we have some islands. So let's check if that works for the other. Really high structure. Awesome. So now we know that one actually works. So let's fix the other things we have in here. So that's the first one, primary. And the first one we have here is flat. That's going to call this, not flat, price. That's what we want. And we want to punch in the, oops, correctly. Hopefully I'm done before I'm run out of power in a moment. And that's going to be product.price. I'm definitely going to copy this. Like so. And after my headline, I just skipped this one. I want the placement. So number 1, 2, 3. And what else do we have? Explore. What do we want in this one? We just want this to be buy. Oh, power. And then down here where we have our code for this product. This is the height one. And let's just put in our description here, right? So let's click save. Let's go back and let's refresh real quick. And you click this. So now you see city with menu number, light bulb, price, buy button, and the actual text here, but we still need to fix the images. And that is again, as we have over here, we are binding the source to some data types, and that's what we're just gonna take. So copy this, paste this in, instead of the normal source, save, and there we go. We have the image, if we click it again, some island, and now we're actually at the point where we are in the last video. So that's how you create a named route here, where we actually a dynamic name route where we're sending in the information for each of our products. So again, here we do this and we do this, and that's how we do that. The key thing to remember as well is in our code. So the difference is here we're storing our actual data, the array with all the data, and in the product view, for each time it builds this component, it's going to store the information for the individual product instead of all three. So there's no array here, it's just grabbing the what they call now the object, storing that, and then we're reusing the data. So it actually turned out to be like 6 video with some styling, but that's how you can create routed named links in Vue. All right, see you in the next videos.